Hi guitar class. I'm going to play you a piece that we're going to talk about called the Silver Spire. We're going to talk about some metronome stuff. But before I chat too much, I'll play it for you. I'm going to play a melody first and the chords. It's a two-part tune, as most traditional tunes go. 8 bars in the first half, 8 bars in the second half. You play the A part twice, which I call the first half, which we call the first half. Play the B part twice. So, here goes. There we go, so that's the Silver Spire. Not entirely perfect, but that's okay, nobody's perfect. This is a really awesome tune that I learned in Scotland, playing in the pubs over there. It's super authentic. There's a lot of tunes that we learn over here as Americans, and then I have tried to play over there, and it doesn't translate. They don't really know them, or they know them as like really touristy American tunes that are not Irish or Scottish or Celtic. So it's nice to know that this is an authentic one, and it's super fun. And we'll be talking a lot about the metronome in this lesson too, because the metronome is a very important tool. Regardless of what instrument you play or what genre of music you play, it can help you make yourself into a better musician. So let's tackle the chords first. The chords are a little bit easier than the melody. How can a metronome help you learn the chords? Well, why do we use a metronome? Why do we care? One of the most important reasons is to keep our tempo consistent. Tempo, of course, means speed. We use a metronome, we practice with a metronome so that when we're playing with other people, we don't push, we don't pull, we don't drag. We are playing at a nice consistent tempo, and when we want to change, we can, but we don't change accidentally. We don't get stressed out or nervous and start to really speed up, which happens a lot in performances. That's the most stereotypical thing. Your heart rate is going up because you're a little bit nervous, then you play a lot faster, right? But that's how orchestras can fall apart, bands can fall apart. Yeah, it's not good if you're not all playing at the nice consistent tempo. And your metronome, I tell all my orchestras, you guys know this, it's your most honest friend, right? It doesn't lie to you. It's keeping your beat. You got to use it correctly. You got to listen to it. It's not going to lie to you. So the way that we would start is every quarter note would get a beat, right? So we're going to start it a little bit slow. Maybe we'll play it 88. I was just playing it half note at 88. We'll play it quarter note at 8 equals 88. So first, let's just look at the first 4 bars. We've got 2 bars of just straight D. So that sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, right? Easy peasy. If I'm just doing a quarter note strumming pattern, if I wanted to change my strumming pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Still 4 beats, just changing the strumming pattern. Then I've got 2 bars where the chords change every 2 beats, right? So it sounds like this. every time I am playing a quarter note, I'm changing with the beat, right? 1, 2, ready, and D, E, A. Now another good practice tip is to isolate the areas of the piece that are hardest and play them in repetition. So let's just within those first 4 bars, you're not going to need to isolate hanging out on the D for 4 bars, right? We can play that all day. But what would be a useful tool and save you time, if you're having a hard time with those 2 beat changes, play them and only them over and over and over again, right? Something like this, ready, and again. Making an ostinato out of it, right? Repeat, repeat, repeat. And here's another really important tip for using the metronome. Listen for your beat 1, right? You can hear there's a different timbre when your metronome is hitting beat 1. Sometimes when you're playing really fast and you're listening to it, it's almost like you are more listening for when your beat 1 is happening than each individual beat that is happening. So let's just, we're just taking those 4 chords, but let's say we've played through the entire piece and we've done it all at 88. It's all feeling good, right? Maybe we'll boost the tempo up 10, 20. Let's boost it up 20 just for the sake of it. Now we're at 108. It'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Oh wait, I didn't start on beat 1 there. Did you hear how that happened? I heard that I wasn't with the metronome because I'm listening for that, and I was changing too slow, I think. So now I'm going to listen closer, maybe play a little softer. Ready, and yeah, see, I was speeding up there. I wasn't listening close enough to the metronome, and then I heard that beat 1 and I could recognize that I was off. Guitar players are super important in bands. Their chords fill out a lot of sound, and a lot of the other musicians play off of them. So if you're not playing a consistent tempo, it can really, really screw people up. Practicing with a guitar, or practicing your chords with a metronome as a guitar player is super important. Let's say you are playing all the way up to about where I was playing. I was all the way up here at like 164. This is fast, right? But not too fast. It's doable. 1, 2, ready, and so that's almost a little obnoxious, just how fast that bing bong 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 bing bong bong bong. I can change the metronome and I can go by the half note be equaling the beat, right? So to do that, right now I'm at quarter note equals 164. If I wanted to go by the half note beat, I would cut 164 in half, right? So I'm gonna go all the way down to 82. And now, for every 1 click that I hear there, that's actually 2 beats instead of 1. 1 click now equals a half note instead of 1 click equaling a quarter note. So if I were to play that, it would sound like this. Now, unfortunately, now we only have the different timbre. That's now only coming up every two measures, which I don't like. But with this cool app and lots of other metronome apps, what I can do, I can click so that now I have beats 1 and 3 making a different timbre. And since I'm using half note is the beat, now I'm back to every single time you hear the higher click, that's the start of a measure, right? 1, 2, 3. Right? So if you do get high enough up into that 160 range where the quarter note is just moving too quick, For practice purposes, you can cut it in half and you can make the half note equal your beat. Let's talk about the melody a little bit. Same thing, start super slow. Here you are at 82. Quarter note equals 82, so it would sound like this. Right? Watch out for those triplets. Right here, ready, and oops, I missed. And ready, and also make sure when you start to play your melody, you've got to start on beat 1, right? Ready, and if you start here, now my ear is confused because I'm not hearing that higher timbred click on my beat 1. You have to wait for and. So if you're isolating a hard spot, like in the B part, there's a part that trips me up. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit just to, keep us cruising. I boosted it to quarter note equals 116. So here's this part that trips me up sometimes. Ready, and did you hear where I got tripped up? That's on a beat 4. So I need to wait for beat 4 if I'm going to start there to isolate that, to practice it more in depth. Just that spot, I need to wait for beat 4. So it sounds like this. 1, 2, and. I'm still with the metronome that way. But if I were to try and start that on beat 1, I'm all over the place. It's not so good. So I gotta wait 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and. And I can just do that again. 1, 2, and. Right? Because that's my problem spot. I can isolate that spot and practice it again and again and again and again using the metronome, but I need to make sure that I come in on time with the metronome. So I tried to play at a tempo where you want to play at a tempo where you can play things pretty clean, where you're not flubbing notes, where every note is still heard. So that's my hardest spot of the piece for me. That would be my spot where I would hit again and again and again if I wanted to boost the tempo. But that's another one of the great uses of a metronome, is to just use it as a point of progress. How fast can you play it? I want to say, when you say, oh, I want to play this faster, I want to play this faster, that's a little bit ambiguous. But when you attach some numbers to your tempo, then you can really test yourself and actually prove how fast you can play it. So my peak right now would probably be like half note equals 94 maybe. I don't know. Maybe we'll try 96, but this is fast. So keep in mind, for every one of those beats, there's every one of those sounds, there's 2 beats. So I would be playing like this. So I'm almost there. I'm pretty close. I can hit most of the notes in there, but I still make a little bit of a flub on some of those triplets. So by our next Zoom recital, please, please, please have either the chords or the melody prepared to perform. If you need to take it even easier, just play the A part of the chords or something. But I want you playing with a metronome. Sorry, I'm almost done. I want you playing with a metronome. I would love, doesn't matter how fast you play it. You don't have to play it as fast as me. I've been working on this tune for longer than a week, so if any of you guys do play it as fast as me, maybe you can start giving me lessons. Who knows? But please use a metronome. It's a very important tool, regardless of what instrument you play, regardless of what genre you play. Like I said before, you can take it through your career as a musician, as long as you know how to use it. It's a very important tool. I know some people who struggle because they don't know how to use it. It would be really, really awesome for you as a musician to have a metronome in your arsenal. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have an awesome week. I miss playing with you in person. And stay safe, stay healthy, do your homework, subscribe, like my videos. Just kidding, I don't care if you do, just do your homework.